Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today is August 20, 2021, and we've just entered into a very profound moment here as far as the shift going on. We'll get right into some recent intel Cobras delivered here in recent days and weeks. Now, this is, let's get into some of this this is July 13th, 2021, a planetary situation update Cobra has posted here. Now here's some excellent news about some massive progress by the light forces in neutralizing the more advanced dark forces in play. Planetary situation update. Cobra begins by writing, "Clearing of the Chimera group continues. Light forces have managed to completely clear all underground bases of the Chimera breakaway civilization, including the Congo complex. Most hostages who were captured there have been liberated, although some of them are still captured on the etheric and astral planes." Excellent, man. So all the Chimera underground bases are cleared by the light forces. Bravo Zulu, including the one under the Congo, all through the eastern Congo, and actually that base runs all the way pretty well all through underneath Rwanda and part of Burundi. And that very powerful Chimera base. There was there was a Spider King and Queen that was also there. So they've all been cleared. Awesome, awesome, awesome. And most of our people have been liberated from there. And I say my people, we're speaking of people from the surface, yes, and we're also speaking of some of the Pleiadians that have been imprisoned by the dark forces there, and the heinous things they've been doing to our people. It's basically what they've been doing, and there's still not all our people are free yet, but it's massive progress, absolutely 100%. They've been, as Cobra's written in recent times too about that, is what they've been doing to our people on those bases, some of those underground bases, like the Chimera ones, including some of the Pleiadians. They basically torture us to death, literally, physical death, and then our soul leaves that expired physical sleeve, and then they capture the soul again of one of our people, our light forces members, and incarnate it back into a physical sleeve again and start the process all over, right? It's like being tortured to death, and then they do it again and again, potentially, and again, so you basically, all that trauma on, as far as on our mental and emotional bodies and our light bodies, and of course, just the physical pain itself, all that, it's just, so there is, that kind of technology that, where they do that, we can be tortured to death, and then they literally, by capturing our soul after it leaves the sleeve, the expired physical sleeve we're in, capture it, incarnate it into another sleeve, if they've made a clone of that body, whatever it might be, and do it all again, It's like, wow, man, pretty nasty stuff, and so hats off to the light forces for rescuing so many of our people, including some Pleiadians right from the Pleiades. There's still some, we still have some hostages, some prisoners, as we'll get into some more of Cobra's writings as he explains here. Okay, so we've got, oh yeah, here's an example of real death. Someone just recently, like some of the most heinous criminals here, the dark forces, the draconian human hybrids. Basically, when I say that, it's these are energetically, they're draconians, they're energetic body, and they incarnate into human sleeves. And this is one person here that's doesn't exist. That soul being doesn't exist anymore. You can't destroy energy, and the soul, obviously our soul is energy. Everything's energy. Just various forms and densities of it, etc. Expressions of it. And so basically what happened, this individual passed on recently, 88 years old, and then eventually it didn't take too long to capture, the light forces captured his soul, and he was sentenced to real death in galactic high courts and sent to the galactic central sun for soul disintegration, soul transducing to one-dimensional energies. There's another word that Cobra uses here for that. Okay, so Cobra writes here about, this is about Donald Rumsfeld. Donald Rumsfeld has been captured by the light forces on the etheric plane and taken to the galactic central sun for reprocessing. Reprocessing. He is no more. This leaves only two members, Kissinger and Cheney, of the Unholy Four still alive. And the light forces have now expanded their primary target list and renamed it Unholy Five. It now includes Henry Kissinger, Dick Cheney, Bill Gates, Anthony Fauci, and Klaus Schwab. Okay, yeah, absolutely. And obviously some of those people are so involved in this medical industrial complex, massive attack worldwide in desperately trying to deliver genocide to the human population here on the Earth's surface. And they're obviously well into it. They've done so much harm to our people already, and attempting to do more. So you can see the draconian measures that they're openly imposing on us in various countries. Of course, the big passport is the thing, part of it. Anything to get us to, like this, hey? Ooh, man, eh? And that, I mean, it all, it fits with the moment we're in, because there's a very good chance we're going to actually see some reasonably profound change in really who's running the Earth's surface here. They are losing control, these dark forces. There's no doubt about that. They're on their way out, and it's just I think it looks still quite promising, even though right now it's so chaotic, and the things these dark forces are doing, including weather warfare, etc., is just so horrendous. These are we're dealing with the most heinous criminals certainly in this galaxy, because the dark forces set up a headquarters here back in the mid-90s, and then that attracted some real lots of these very corrupted soul beings, very criminally insane corrupted soul beings, to come here and set up shop here. So, and we've seen it. Their most recent campaign has been so bloody and brutal, obviously, for the last 20 years. Their war on terror, right? They always have wars. Eh? Might be the war on drugs, or the Cold War, or the Second World War, the First World War, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, the Crimean War. Conflict after conflict after conflict. These banker wars, as more and more people are becoming aware of that these are very orchestrated and illegal wars, if you will. So, that's so we're in quite a obviously in many ways it's really beyond words how to describe the moment we're in. I would propose. But it's potentially, there's the chaos, the instability, the lashing out by these desperate dark beasts, if you will. We can see it more and more in the open in their medias. They still control our media, the state medias, and that. That's the last to go, by the way. And I think we're starting to finally see the mainstream media. There's some mainstream media that's actually delivering some truth. Tucker Carlson's a good example. Recently, President Trump, just in the last hours on mainstream media, has spoke about the boosters, the so-called boosters. So we're getting there step by step. That can help. There's a lot of, hopefully that'll help a lot of Americans research more and think about it before they put something in their body they definitely don't want to be putting in their body. That's for sure. Because everybody's being lied to, obviously, in regards to through these state medias, through these quacks, these satanic quacks at podiums, these satanic politicians at podiums, etc. And like I say, they're all incriminating themselves every day, so openly, because just look at the Nuremberg Code for what's going on here. They're totally in massive violation of that, let alone other international laws and laws that many of these countries have, including I'm in Canada, and we have of the most powerful human rights laws that exist, and other countries like the United States, European countries, etc., have very strong human rights law doctrines as well, that they're pissing all over these satanic, criminally insane forces involved here. And they always have really, but now it's so open. They're in the open because, like I say, they're desperate. The desperateness of this dark cabal. So the Earth's surface dark forces, the cabal, Illuminati, they're not illuminated. They just think they are. That's not illumination what they do. But they know about black magic. They know they have knowledge that they've been able to successfully suppress from the general population here about really how powerful we are, every one of us. And there's processes where we can open up to these powers, our psionics abilities, etc. And that's why they recruit a lot of us into the SSP. So many are we're light forces, and so they utilize our intuitive empath abilities, and it reduces a lot of potential karma that they'll produce otherwise by employing those of us light forces members, recruiting us, and basically manipulating us into working in the secret space program like I did for at least 30 years, and many others did. There's got to be, we'll find out the numbers for sure, and not long from now. There's got to be at least 4-5 million secret space program veterans walking the earth, and I'm one of them. And it's pretty crazy. We're talking the real space program here, though. The one that still doesn't officially exist. So, anyways, folks. Let's get some more about what Cobra's writing here. Yeah, he wrote about Donald Rumsfeld here, in that. Then he goes on to say, physical spider king and queen, along with most lesser physical chimera spiders, have been removed also. The remaining chimera forces are now concentrated on the surface, and nothing more can be revealed about that momentarily. So yeah, the remaining chimera forces are now concentrated on the surface, and nothing can be revealed more momentarily. Yeah, because the chimera, they incarnate into the big spiders in their underground bases, and they're all cleared now, like just of recent, thanks to advanced light forces in play. They incarnate into these giant, the chimera spiders, as we call them, and which are like 30 meters in diameter and in their big underground bases and stuff. And there is energetic chimera bodies that incarnate into human sleeves bodies as well. Just like the energetic draconian bodies like Donald Rumsfeld, Kissinger, they're draconian human hybrids, but there's chimera human hybrids that walk the earth. And then we're getting into basically the Archon black nobility families, mostly based, I shouldn't say mostly based, but lots of it, we're talking Europe here. The black nobility families, the Archon nobility families. And then you're looking at chimera human hybrids, if you will. So you really got the two main dark force hybrids that are walking around in human sleeves, right? And look, obviously and physically they are human, but like I say, in some cases their energetic body is chimera, of the chimera. And or draconian, that kind of thing. The two big dark force armies here that are mostly decimated now, and that's why we're so close to planetary liberation and all this. The last to go, like I say, are the dark force surface here, operatives and agents and that's such the cabal, all that kind of stuff. So the basically. The chimera. So there's not much more being said right now, but there's definitely draconian human hybrids and chimera human hybrids walking around. Basically, the Khazarians, when you get to the high level, the pure blood Khazarians, they're all draconian human hybrids, and that's why that's the nasty. These are of the. These are that's a major force of what's been the dark forces here on Earth. These the Khazarians, they're holding to this moment, although many more and more of them have been being removed covertly, and there's more and more. But then they bring clones out sometimes, and there's body doubles and masks. There's great masks that they can they can make a mask that looks so much like the person, but you can still tell a lot. A lot of times you'll be able to tell. Like when I get some more cash together and get my get some more technology going with this, I'll be able to do a more professional show, if you will. Hats off to all the Light Forces medias out there, independent medias, including ones that they're really utilizing groovy technologies and doing a real nice job, nice and really well done. The audio, the visual, all that. So good stuff. And until as long as the Dark Forces control our state medias, I think it's good that certainly is an independent media force that's grown and grown and grown, and good stuff, eh? Absolutely 100%. And like I say, I'm interested. Definitely, I get some cash in. I'll get some more of these technologies going, the software programs, so I can do a much more professional job and And of course, it's great to be able to stream newscasts and photos, etc., as part of the broadcast kind of thing. Eh? So for now, I'll just read a little more from Cobra and what he's writing here. Now, Cobra goes on to say, right now in the last month or so, too, this is a little over a month ago, too, so there's been so much going on since then as well. Absolutely 100%. Now, Cobra goes on to write, what is remaining now to be cleared underground are some military bases still in the hands of the negative military, including those in Antarctica. Excuse me. Then underground tunnels, including those between United States, Mexico, California, Nevada, and China to Myanmar. Okay, yeah. Which are being used for human trafficking by Illuminati, Mafia, and the Triads. And also child abuse centers below some castles of the black nobility, Archon nobility families, and below some churches and Catholic schools under Jesuit control. Top priority of the resistance and the positive military now is to rescue as many children as possible still captured there. Bravo Zulu to the Light Forces, man. Yeah, as it says, I'd like to read that again, that one sentence. Top priority of the resistance and the positive military now is to rescue as many children as possible still captured there in these Dark Force torture chambers bases. Bravo Zulu to the positive military and the resistance forces. Now, folks, the resistance forces makes up basically half of them are like Agarthans, very enlightened humans from Earth here, and the other half are from a planet that's part of this solar system. I forget the name of it now, but it's way on the outskirts. It's quite far from here. It's farther than Pluto, I believe, away from here. And that planet, they liberated themselves not that long ago from the Dark Forces. And then a lot of those folks, those light warriors, came here and they've been helping ever since us. So bravo Zulu, and thank you very much to all the resistance light forces, including about half of them that came from another planet in the solar system, one that doesn't officially exist to us, kind of thing, but because there's more than 9 planets in the solar system, that's for sure. So yeah, that's awesome. Like that's our brothers and sisters for sure. It'd be great to be able to break bread with our people again from other planets and other star systems, other solar systems, etc. The Pleiadians, the Syrians, the Galactic Syrians, the Arcturians, the Andromedans, etc., etc. The Agarthans, all our brothers and sisters who live in the Agarthan network, etc. Okay, so that's what's going on in recent days and weeks. So much, eh? Now it goes on. There's a lot of other stuff here. Let's just touch on more, and then I want to get to going through another writing Cobra's written in recent times here, just the other day kind of thing. And that, eh? Let's see here. Oh, a little more on what the Light Forces have been doing too, and continue to do. The Light Forces are also intensively clearing negative, non-physical, etheric, and astral entities, and their number has now fallen below 50 billion. On the top of the etheric and astral dark hierarchy are still some chimera spiders who control a few thousand archons in insectoid bodies, lords of karma, who in turn control a few million dracos who manage the remaining tens of billions of reptilian entities. Wow. Now, if I'm not mistaken, Cobra just mentioned there's fallen that the negative non-physical etheric and astral entities, and their number has fallen below 50 billion. Not that long ago, unless I'm incorrect, I think you were dealing with like about a trillion, trillions, if you will. Like so, it sounds like it's been a massive reduction, like just astronomical, right down below. And this is like over a month ago too, folks. So, and that's why that more and more the local ether is clearing and clearing, and even though all this last of the dark forces lash is coming at us, we're able to breathe this more and more sacred high light quotient energy in the local ether. And that's a major part of it there. And more of the negative life forms in the ether have been cleared and are being cleared in that. So we can, even otherwise, so we can potentially be able to navigate through this more effectively thanks to a more and more robust high light quotient local ether that we're in here. As the prison matrix is certainly collapsing and dissipating and all that. You were close. We're so close, man. And we've been close for a while, so we're right really on the kind of like on the borderline of two worlds. And there is two worlds here colliding. That's for sure. It's like there's and more. It is energetically incompatible for the Satanists to be here, and stuff, because of this higher and higher light quotient energies. More and more light shining on darkness and stuff, like you don't have to have, like that saying, where there's light, there's dark, and usually there's some, because we're talking anomalies, other than pure source energy, pure love and light, that we're all the gods, we're all from source, and other than pure love and light, pure source energy, there's some distortions and such anomalies, and and that, but basically, dark light doesn't have to. The light doesn't need to have darkness to exist. That's for sure. It's really, in a sense, you could look at it too as everything's kind of light. Darkness is light. It's energy. It's not really light either. But what it is like those heinous criminals around here that are definitely getting cleaned up more and more now. They become more and more corrupted of light. Their soul. The more and more corrupted of light any of us get, the more criminal it is. If we incarnate into a physical body, the more corrupted of light we've become and continue. We're more. It shows in the physical plane here. These are the most heinous criminals that exist. Basically, the crimes they do around here against Mother Earth and all her creatures. Just like So that's what we're dealing with here. Is of the most heinous criminals that exist. Absolutely 100%. So the clearing is amazing, thanks to many levels of light forces in play. And definitely the ground crew here, light forces, continues to wake up. We're getting bigger and bigger peaceful protests out there. And that's really, the light forces have recently, Cobra's wrote here that the light forces are figuring these big peaceful protests that are just getting bigger and bigger, especially like places like, Paris and London, England, and various places. There's been some pretty big ones around in Montreal recently, Montreal, and some pretty bigger and bigger ones in Vancouver, etc. And places in the States, of course, like some of the bigger cities and that, and so there's been that's been definitely growing and growing. And so light forces are figuring, that's all that highly, very positive energy. People out speaking truth and saying, this is illegal what you're doing to us, and it's this is tyrannical, and exposing the beast, helping expose the beast, among other things, and having effect. More and more, the police are they're on the side of the people because they are the people. We're all the people. This attack is on all of us, basically, if you will, Certainly all the humans, anyways. And anyways, and that's the thing too. These the higher level dark forces in play, they, regardless of what would have happened here, their ground crew, they're just cannon fodder too to them. They couldn't care less about their minions here in the surface either. And some of those minions, more and more, are realizing that, and so they're turning over lots of evidence. They're singing like monotoned, off beat, off key canaries that they are. There's been so much of that going on behind the scenes, definitely. So the light forces got everything on the dark forces, like everything. It's the light forces will pull the switches when they choose to at the right time. The advanced light forces, big part of what they're doing is striving to reduce the amount of death and destruction before we get to planetary liberation, and that's why it's not high. They can intervene right this second. Or last year they could intervene, but it's in some cases not that long ago. That kind of intervention was not doable in a sense because of the advanced scalar weapons and stuff in place by the dark forces. If the light forces come in and intervene and take over the surface, the dark forces would have been able to unleash these very powerful scalar weapons, etc. Basically, taking all of us out on the surface. So, as we'll find out after planetary liberation, those of us on the surface, we've been saved many times by the galactic light forces and resistance forces, and the positive military's done so much, etc., etc. And the positive, what's not even talked about much, is the positive space force. There's been 20+% of our space force, our real space force, with very advanced ships, weapons, technologies, etc. They're the ones that have the memory suppression technology, the advanced medical beds that we'll get on surface soon. We're talking 20-mile long spacecraft carrier ships. That's from the birth from the Earth's surface peoples. Us, and so we have a sizable space force that will be introduced to everybody soon. Positive, because over the years, as people in the space force started to see and hear about what's really going on, they got away from the draconian Chimera controlled space force that it's been, and more built up a larger forces that are helping big time with the planetary liberation. And like I say, there's probably less intel on those groups, our breakaway civilizations forces, than most groups or whatever. But